I'll sort of start anyway, but today I have, today I have decided to show you a masculine card. I don't know if you're like me, but I always get a bit daunted at the thought of creating a masculine card. It's not, oh, hi Helen, yay, someone's watching, yay. A masculine card because I find them a little bit more difficult to come up with an idea of what to do. We have some fantastic stamps and things in our catalogue to use, but it's just really putting it together because I think, I think I am more of an avid crafter, and therefore I tend to go a bit overboard. And I think male cards need to be a bit simpler because they don't like a lot of fuss. So it is a bit daunting, but I decided to drag out or get a stamp set that I haven't used for a while, the Geared Up Garage. Really going through the stamp sets and trying to find some that I haven't used to have a little play with. And so I'm going to create something with that today. So I'm Karen from stampingbees.co.nz. Welcome along. I hope everyone is staying really well and getting lots of crafting done. You need a fishing stamp set, Helen. Why do you need a fishing stamp set? Do you know a lot of people that go fishing? I don't think it'd be a stamp set that I'd want to have. Yeah, I do. Sailing home is another fantastic one, but this car one is really good for cards that you make in your men folk that like cars, basically. So I had a wee bit of a play, so I'm going to flip you over and we will get started, and hopefully you'll get to learn something. Give us a second. I hope I don't make you seasick. So over and pop it over there. Oops. Right. I'll just push that up a bit. And right. So this is the card that I created originally with this suite, and I did it with a green background, or green cards, and a sort of a grey background. It's the new grey, and do you think I can't remember what it's called now? Oh gosh, it's gone right out of my head. But I thought tonight I would make one with the navy blue, because I quite like to just change it up a little bit and try some different colours. This is a really good neutral sort of colour, but navy blue is pretty. Now I'm getting all mixed up with my words. Sorry, I'm trying something new tonight. I've got it all set up quite differently, so I'm a bit fingers and thumbs. But anyway, so let's get going. This is the stamp set, Geared Up Garage, and this has got fantastic sentiments in here and stamps. Even got a fabulous oil spill, which I really quite like, just as a general stamp actually. And the dies are great. Tonight we're going to be using just two, the car and the gears. There are smaller gears in here as well, and some great label dies, but we're just going to use the two tonight. And I thought I would just grab the sentiment out of here. I did have in mind, actually, because it's my son-in-law's birthday shortly, that I would use this for him. And he loves cars. And he had a silver car that once his... Oh, you had to make him a card for Milan. Yes, I saw that, his fishing cards. Very appropriate for him. My nails, yes, well, I actually have been really nursing them along, and I'm so blessed because my nail technician actually gave me some things to keep me going for a little while, but I don't think they're actually going to last for much longer, but who knows. Keep trying to keep them going. But anyway, I decided to use a sentiment out of the Itty Bitty Birthdays. So I just wanted it more of a birthday sentiment, but just smaller than the ones that were in the stamp set. So let's get started. I have got a 29 by 10.5 base, and that is just scored at 14.5. Granite, grey granite, that's it. Thank you very much. Grey granite was that grey. Yes, sometimes we had the Zoom with some people today, and I was saying that sometimes when I'm doing this, I think I get a little bit nervous, and honestly, words for things that you know so well just totally leave your brain, and something quite simple like dimensionals, and yeah, you find it difficult to get them back. So then I went through my stack of cards and card DSP bits that I've got. This was out of the 6x6 sampler pack that I got, and I would never use the golfing side of things. I didn't actually get this. I don't actually know anyone that plays golf, but I thought the tartan was quite a good basic blue, navy blue type colour, and this is out of the Sailing Home suite, and I thought these went together quite well. So you can use any bits of scrap you've got. I've cut them at this size at 13 by 9, only because if I'm doing this in front of you, I probably would cut it, rip it. I'm going to rip this, and I'll probably rip it and I'd have some blue showing. So I just thought just to be safe, but you could actually not use quite as much. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the card, see what I mean? I'm going to stamp the car on the vellum. Gosh, it's going to be one of those nights. So let's start off with that. I'm going to use Stays On for that, because it's on a sort of a shiny surface. And I have it already on the stamp. Okay. And I'm doing it on vellum. I decided to do it on vellum because I wanted it to sort of look shiny and to look like there is the window. And I just practiced with a few little things, and the vellum actually turned out to be the best option. Now I'll just set that aside for a minute to dry. Now I meant to say you stamp it on the shiny side, and we're going to colour it in on the matte side. So I've actually stamped it on the wrong side. Too busy talking, so I'll do that again. So you usually colour in, there is two, it's quite subtle. One side is quite shiny, or quite slippery, more slippery, and the other side is rougher. And that's the best side to actually colour on. And we'll be using blends. So that actually is the better side to colour on. So once again, we'll set that aside. I love the smell of Stays On. It's like almonds, very yummy. So while that's drying, we'll put the base together. So all I've done with this is I want to use the stripe piece, and I could probably glue that on first. Glue that on. And I'm nice and generous with my glue. Okay. Now I'm just going to use this piece to rip. And I'm going to start. Now if you're ripping paper, now depending how you want it, if you rip towards you, then you're going to get the white edges showing. If you rip away, you're going to get the finer edge. I actually want the white edge, so I'm going to rip towards me. So that I get the white. Yeah, no, I did have a bit of trial and error there, Helen, using the vellum. I'll show you in a minute what I decided to do. Now this piece is going to come down here. Now with the other card, I actually sponged it green because I didn't have any white in the card. Now I'm going to leave this white this time because I do actually have white on this paper, so that blends in really well. So I'm going to just glue that on. Put this up there. So as I say, you wouldn't need as much of the base colour, but I just thought just better to be safe than sorry when I'm doing this on camera. And then you just got, it's sort of ripped and rough looking, which, you know, is good for men, so to speak. They like to be a little bit not too pristine, if you know what I mean. Or was that being gender biased? Probably being gender biased. But I have also taken the liberty of cutting this out earlier. This is from the die that I showed you. The large gears. Now what I wanted to do with that is I didn't want it to be totally silver. I could have cut it out of silver foil, and I didn't want it to be totally black. So I've just got the Versamark and I've just tapped it randomly over the gears. No pattern to it, just sort of randomly tap it. And then I used silver embossing powder. Whoop, that makes a lot of noise. And just sprinkle that on. And then, not too much, just tap off the excess. And then you would use your heat gun to dry that. And of course, I'm not going to do that for you right in your ears at the moment. I have pre-done this one. So that just gives that sort of look with the bits of silver and the bits of black, like a bit of oil on it. Just a little bit textured, really, like something would be in this sort of car type world, I guess. A bit dirty. So, yeah, I thought it would turned out quite well, actually. Oh, you've been doing some rip and flip. Yeah, that's where I actually got the idea from Jackie's rip and flip, but none of the cards I looked at for the masculine actually had good reverse that I wanted to use, matching colours, so hence why I did it a little bit different. But yes, a great idea to use up scraps. Jackie Williams, if you ever watch any of hers live, Facebook Live, she had a great card the other day where she used one sheet that she ripped and flipped it over, which was fantastic. Great way to use up all that designer series paper that you've got sitting there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that. And they make very pretty cards. You'll have to put some up, Helen, so we can see them. Oops, don't really need the spoon, do we? Okay. Not too much. I don't want it to be oozing out the sides. Just enough to keep it down. So I'm just going to put that probably about here on the page. Now, let's go back to the car. So what I did then was flipped it over, and as I said, on the rougher side of the vellum, I just coloured it in using I should have looked at the pens when I couldn't. Oh no, this is Smoky Slate. The Smoky Slate Dark and Light. And I've just quickly, the tiles are already black obviously, and I've just coloured this in. So it's going to be a silver card, obviously. It's very subtle. And what I did find though, I loved the effect of the vellum. I thought it was perfect for what I wanted, making it shiny, etc. But it did get very lost on the project once I put it on. So I'll show you what I did. So you could either die cut this or just cut this out, which is what I'm going to do because I'm not going to bring my big shot over. So once again, when you're cutting, just move the paper, not the scissors. Luckily, it's not a very complicated fussy cut to do on camera. And then when I get to that stage, I usually just make it a little bit easier by cutting a lot of the excess away. And then you just move the paper. And so, as I say, I was quite pleased when I looked at it like this, but when I put it on the project, which I'll show you, or the card, it actually got a little bit lost. And too much of the papers, etc. underneath came through and it got a little bit lost. So what I did was I actually tried with a few colours, but I found that a white card die cut out on the back of it actually worked really, really well. The trick is though, when you're gluing vellum on to card or anywhere, you must put very minimal glue on, and it's not going to come up now, very minimal glue just on quite dark areas, because vellum does show the glue. That is the only downside really. So I'm just putting very small amount on where I think it won't be seen, and popping that on the white card. And now when I put that on, it actually doesn't detract from the car at all, but it still keeps that shiny look, which was what I wanted. Get rid of that bit of paper. And I will pop that on in some dimensionals. Right, and I'm just going to pop that there, about there. And then the last thing I'll do before I pop it on actually is to put some twine on there. And this is the plaited, I think it's the plaited linen twine, which I really like. It's a great, these twines, the neutral colours like this are fantastic for men's cards. So I just want to do a knot, but I do want to wrap it around a couple of times. Now, another trick that I saw by Jackie, I've always done where I've taped down there and just not follow the ribbon all around, but she also had another fantastic trick on saving your twine. I hope that's close enough to the edge actually, by taking it backwards and forwards. So let's have a look. I'll show you what I mean. I'll just grab my Come Pick Me tool, and I always have trouble getting the backing of the tape off. I don't know if anyone else does, but it never likes to come off easily for me. If anyone's got any tricks, love to hear it, but I never seem to be able to get them up very easily at all. I don't know if it's because my nails aren't made for that sort of thing, but I always have to have a little bit of a play on the edge. This is fantastic, this Come Pick Me tool, for getting getting it in the end, but it's worthwhile though, waiting to get it done. So with the tape on the back like so, I'm going to start with a piece there, which will be for my knot, and then I'm going to go across to the back and then just loop it back to the front like that. This was the end of a reel, so it's probably going to be a little bit extra, and then come around to the front. So I haven't actually put it through the back, it's just looped on either side. I thought that was a fantastic idea. As I say, I've been doing it with the ribbon. And tip, no nails. Oh, okay, so it's no nails. Oh, I think I'll sacrifice getting the tape quickly for having nails, I think, Helen. I don't think just being able to do the tape would be worth getting them taken off. Though, in saying that, it could be in a week or two, that's exactly what happens. So, just tying a knot. And we'll trim that down. And there. And I'm going to pop some dimensionals. Actually, it's probably a bit long still. Trim it down a little bit more. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that on the front, and I will use, if I can find them quickly, my black dimensionals. No fancy nails, yeah. I gathered that's what you meant. Yes, I don't think, I actually did I should have shown you when I was doing the face, I did my roots, my grey roots at home, and I got some red dye before lockdown and thought, oh, this will be good. My roots turned out pink, bright pink, nice bright pink, but I still think that's better than the grey, but yeah, I've got bright pink roots at the moment. Yeah, an improvement on the grey, but still quite funny. But that's okay. I don't think anyone would mind. Yeah, glue dot underneath the bow. Yeah. Okay, I'll get that centered. I was going to come to that once I've put the rest on, but I'll do that now. Yes, glue dot under the knot actually keeps this in the place that you want it, and it doesn't move around, which is fantastic. I actually do want to bring that a bit closer to there, so that helps. Even when you're tying a bow with a ribbon, it's a fantastic trick to keep up your sleeve, is using the glue dot underneath either your bow or your knot, and that really does keep the nobody will see my pink roots. Well, they can when I'm doing videos, but I think that it doesn't stand out quite as much as the grey roots, to be honest. At least I can pull my hair up again now, because when I've got grey roots, I can't pull them up because they actually look bald, because the grey roots look like there's nothing there. So pink roots at least solve that problem. So let's do the sentiment. Now I have already done this with a white embossing. So I've white embossed the Awesome at Any Age, and I'm just going to cut this out. I'm quite liking the trend at the moment for cutting out the sentiments. I find sometimes I like the sentiment, but I don't want it to be quite such a big block on my project. So being able to cut it down like this into smaller sections actually works out really, really well for me. And especially even letters like that very easy to cut out. Okay. And I will use some dimensionals on that. I'll use the mini ones for these. And we're so lucky, all this rain. I know some people are not enjoying the fact that it's started raining, but we're very excited here because this is the first time that our tanks have got up to 50% in a very, very long time. So we actually have taken the buckets out of the shower and we've been enjoying nice long showers, and we've even had a bath, and we're even contemplating now filling the spa. So it's been very exciting. Very exciting. It's something you actually take for granted, I think. Right, so I'm just going to pop that here. And it's still raining. I can hear the rain outside, so much better. Especially if we're self-isolated and now we can have long showers or hot baths. It really does make a difference. Okay, I think I might trim that a bit more. And the last thing I'll do before, actually I'll put it on, we'll do this inside first, I think. We are going to just stamp that with the smoky slate and going to create an oil slick. I'm going to pop that in the corner, and I'd do this on the envelope as well, so this would all be matching, or I could use something else from the stamp set, but I would stamp something on the envelope, or I put a bit of designer series paper on the inside, something like that. It can rain at night. Yeah. Yes, Helen, but we don't mind at the moment. Hasn't got cold yet though. Still reasonably warm. Has cold moments, but it's still not really cold. Haven't had to light a fire or put any heaters on, so that's good. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in the middle. And the last thing is I found in the Peaceful Poppy sequins, the black sequins in here, not the flowers, but the black sequins are matte black. And actually we're absolutely fantastic for this. A really nice matte black colour, so not shiny. And I will try and get some out quickly. There's two. So there's a real mix in here. There's the flat sequins and there's the flowers. So I'm just picking up 3 of the matte black sequins. And just pop the glue on. Yeah, so they were just, I was really pleased to, wasn't looking in here thinking, oh, they're like flowers, etc. And then I noticed that these were matte and I thought, oh, absolutely perfect. Oops, that one doesn't want to stay there. And that one. And that's it. So not hard, nice, quick, easy card using up some of that designer series paper that you've got. I know the dams out your way are very low. Yeah, low, and tanks are low too. So as I said, we've got 4 huge tanks and we've been sitting about 20% now for months. So yeah, it's unusual to get excited about rain, but we're definitely excited. So the card, like I say, it's just using a couple of elements out of that set and some masculine type papers. But I was quite pleased how this turned out, and it is a straightforward masculine card that isn't too fussy, which I'm a bit prone to make things a little bit fussy. So I think he will quite like that. And it's a silver car, as I say, that he had to give up when he had to get the family car with my granddaughter arrived. Wasn't really very practical, his silver car. And this is the green version and the navy blue. So 2 options. I actually on this one roughed up the edges and left these ones flat. So that was just to show you also what the difference is. I quite like roughed edges, I must admit, especially when you have the matte, the same color as the card base. I just find that sort of adds texture. But you can see both of the options with these 2 cards and sort of do whichever one appeals to you. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much, Helen. And I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Enjoy your week, and everyone stay safe. We're all excited here in New Zealand in case we are allowed a little bit more freedom, but we'll know tomorrow night. Otherwise, everyone else, take care, stay safe, and look after yourselves. Bye.